United States Deputy Secretary of Energy Dan Brouillette met with Israeli officials today, where he continued to draw attention to the United States' growing fears of foreign interference in Israel through economic means. In particular, he discussed the growing Chinese influence on the Israeli market and the Chinese investment in the naval port of Haifa. Well, joining me now to further discuss the White House's vetting concerns is Dan Catarivas, the Director General for Foreign Trade and International Relations with the Manufacturers Association of Israel. Dan, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
So, first of all, Brouillette said that he would like the United States to work with Israel in creating a vetting program. How do you think that?
I mean, look, it's not the first time. And we had Bolton that came here just 2 weeks ago, a week ago, and also mentioned the preoccupation of the U.S. on Israel-China relation. I think that definitely, seeing what's happening between China and U.S., okay, and the trade war, which is only one expression of a growing tension between China and the U.S. So obviously Israel is in a very peculiar situation because we are a very small country. We are depending on foreign trade. We cannot ignore the fact that China is a rising power. We cannot ignore the fact that U.S. is our major ally and our major strategic ally. So the question is how to position ourselves on one way, keeping good relation with the U.S., not wanting to hurt our relation with the U.S. On the other hand, not ignoring the fact that China is becoming a major player economically. So that's how to find the right balance is a challenge. Now, the problem is that in the U.S. today and the White House, presumably, you've got people that look at China relation with the U.S. as a zero-sum game, i.e. anything that is good for China is bad for the U.S. and vice versa, okay? I don't think that the private sector in the U.S. have the same position, okay? They are engaged with China. There is a lot of interdependence. I think that rightly so, the Americans are pointing out to the Israelis that they should actually maybe look a bit more deep into to what area do they let the Chinese cooperate with Israel.
So that's actually a point I wanted to get to. Nadav Argaman, head of the Shin Bet, he recently, as you just mentioned, mentioned that Israel needs to look way more closely at some of the foreign investments, specifically from China. And again, he made reference to the port. Not only from China, of course. But therein lies the question: at what point is a foreign investment crossing the line?
Well,
and how many?
It's a challenging issue. What is a strategic investment? Okay, when the Chinese bought Tnuva, which is a major dairy, the major dairy or milk production in Israel, is that a strategic investment? Are they going to take the cows?
It's a food manufacturing.
Okay, so no, the question of food security definitely is a question, but it's more a problem with food security in China. Probably the acquisition of Tnuva had a reason not for Israel, but for China. China wanted to guarantee some access to technology in milk or in dairy product, okay? Is that a major problem? I'm not sure. I mean, so the question is, what is a strategic investment and what is not a strategic investment? I think that in the world today, where everything is a bit mixed, it's very difficult to really identify, okay? What today looks at the non-strategic might tomorrow be strategic and vice versa, okay? So I think that we have in Israel and I think that's not a bad idea, that the Israeli government will set up a system of screening and analyzing foreign investment, not only Chinese one, but we have other countries that are investing in Israel, and we have.
And you don't see anything wrong with that, with maybe a foreign government, even the United States?
There is a major difference, which we definitely, I'm not naive, okay? I think that behind almost any Chinese investment, there is the Chinese government or the Chinese Communist Party, okay? Which is something totally different than, let's say, an American investment.
And has stated quite publicly that they're intent on,
but this is a different system, okay? But again, so I'm saying we should be careful. We should take the necessary measure. I think that if our American friends want to advise us what is the best way to identify or to check what is the strategy or what is the intention of the foreign investors, in particular the Chinese, we should take that advice. And don't forget, we shouldn't forget that our major ally is the U.S. It's not China.
All right. Well, I agree that you can always take advice from any foreign power, especially the United States being our ally.
Especially from the United States.
Dan, thank you so much for coming in today.
Welcome.